What's up, you guys? My name is Yuri, and I'm a performance coach for high achievers and entrepreneurs. And I wanted to talk about this idea of seasons. So there's something called the law of seasons in the universal laws. And this has been so helpful when I am moving through uncertain times or just any time and I'm like unsure of like what's next or what's happening. Um, or like if you find yourself like envious of other people in different seasons or whatever. So I'll kind of explain what this means and how this has helped me and how this can potentially help you in practical terms. So think about it this way. Like, have you ever looked on social media and like saw people doing different things, whether it's like traveling, whether it's they're getting married or they're starting a business or they just whatever they're doing, like there is this part of you that might feel super envious and or whatever feelings that come up that might be less than empowering. In those situations, try on this idea that there's a season for everything. Now, if you witnessing that person had some kind of trigger or some kind of like, activation within you, that might be the very early season of that particular chapter. So it's starting to like take effect. Like you are being affected by that one thing that you're seeing. Maybe you're being pulled to it, or maybe it's just really igniting something within you. That means like that chapter could be starting soon. Um, or if you feel like there's thing you feel stuck or you feel like not everything's going your way and you're feeling stressed and or it feels like you are just moving through a lot of hardships, also know that there is a season for that. And the fact that you are feeling like you no longer want to be there or that you want to change something about that is actually the pre-activation of the next season that might be coming, which might be a season of ease, season of flow, season of growth, season of whatever. But whatever is happening in that particular season that you are currently in, it's actually supposed to be happening for you exactly in the way that it's happening for you. And when we're in those difficult times, it's so hard sometimes to see that as like a thing that's could be potentially even be good for you. So my invitation for you is how can you potentially look at that as a season and what is that season trying to tell you? So I've written a book, it's called Creating Your Own Happiness. But oftentimes now that I have, like I feel like I find myself thinking about different in my life as like different chapters. Like what chapter am I in right now? What chapter are you in right now? That's actually one of my favorite questions to ask people right now. It's like what is the chapter you're in? And I invite you to like ask yourself this right now too. What is the chapter that you're in? So if you had a book of your life and you had to name the chapter, like you had to name the chapter, the season that you're in right now, what would be like one word or one phrase that would really sum up the season that you're in right now? And then, this gives you a perspective of, oh, and you can kind of check in with yourself like, am I in the beginning of the season? Am I in the middle of the season? Or do I feel intuitively that I'm actually in the concluding part of the season? So this can be really powerful because this allows us to really not force anything, but be present to what is there for us already. And like, how can we see and amplify like the season that we're in that particular moment and just like really tap into the energy that's available for you in that particular season. So, for example, if you're moving through a bunch of hardships, and this happened for me a couple years ago, instead of like having to fight everything or you feel like you're fighting every adversity or you feel like a victim because this is happening to you and why is this happening to me, instead of getting into that mindset, you can just tell yourself, I'm in a season of growth. I'm in a season of learning lessons, and I'm so curious to see how these, lessons are going to actually move me forward in the future. When I kept thinking about it this way, it really helped me push forward in those times. It was hard for me to move forward. And then if you're also in a season of maybe celebration or peace or joy or fun, you can also say, I'm in a season of celebrations. I'm a season of this. And while I'm acknowledging that like life can have its own shifts and turns, I'm so grateful to be here. Because this is something that I talk about in my book, is that there's a shadow and a light side to every emotion, even joy, even happiness. And can you guess what that is? That is actually the fact that we can get super attached to these emotions. We can get super attached to feeling like, oh, I'm feeling so much joy. I'm having so much fun. I want the season to last forever. And then guess what? Immediately that no longer becomes light and flowy, it becomes like contractive and not good, right? So sometimes like letting these seasons flow through you, but also try not so hard to like grasp onto that. And that can manifest in so many different ways. That allows you to actually get the most out of that season and really enjoy that season as well. Um, and the law of season comes from, like, if you observe, like, places like Korea that I grew up in, there's distinct 4 seasons, and there's nothing we can do to change it. There's, spring, there's summer, there's fall, and then there's winter. That's just how it is. There's certain things in life we just have to, like, move through with the seasons. If I wear shorts in the middle of a winter day in Korea, first of all, I'm gonna freeze. Second of all, it's not gonna make summer come any faster. Nor is it gonna have like a huge impact on that particular day of how the weather goes. I'm probably just gonna look like I didn't dress for the vacation. So, what does that mean? Sometimes we wear the wrong pants literally in the wrong season and wonder why it's so cold. When we are in a season of growth and hardships where we are supposed to learn these lessons, and you try to just like ignore these lessons or not be present to what is trying to be given to you, it can actually harm you more than not harm you. Or if you're trying so hard to push, or focus so much on achievement and looking for some kind of challenge to move through when you're in a season of just flow and peace and having fun, that can also sabotage the season that you're in and the intention of that particular season being given to you. It's like you trying to ski or, go sledding on a summer day and wondering why you're not having fun because there's no snow. So anyways, I'm kind of curious, like if that landed for you guys, if that makes sense. And this is really powerful too in business cycles. There's a time, if you look at in Bali where I live, I'm in Singapore, but in Bali where I live right now, there's all these rice fields and there's seasons for the crops to be like green and beautiful, and then there's a season where they cut them all down and then they ripe again, or they say ripe. Anyways, so there's a season for all that. So my invitation for you today is check in with yourself. What kind of season are you in with your life, with your business? And what would it look like for you to get the most out of that season so that you get the lessons or you get the feeling or whatever it is that is most present for you today? I hope that made sense. If you have any questions about this, feel free to comment below. Would love to hear from you guys. And other than that, by the way, you guys, as a performance coach and fulfillment coach for entrepreneurs and high achievers, if you're feeling stuck or if you're feeling burnt out and you really want to feel good again, you want to feel like yourself again, you want to feel confident and powerful again, or you feel like you need some help really staying accountable towards your goals that you have for this year, feel free to schedule your 30-minute complimentary call using the link below. I will go ahead and include that in the description. I've helped many, many high achievers such as yourself to get back on track and really crush their goals and discover new possibilities and new ways of being for themselves. So anyways, again, my name is Yuri Choi. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you haven't. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video. See ya.